be, how much do you have to ramp up to get the housing to work?
Hunter, let me interject a question here, because I was having a discussion earlier this week, with somebody who I think is pretty knowledgeable about this stuff. And they basically said that the business community is in absentia here. That if you ask around, if I go around the room and ask these people, who is the business community? And I think a lot of it speaks to something that you were talking about earlier, where the business community used to be the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, right? Or
Yeah.
Fortune 10 or whatever the number.
Fortune 500.
Right. Who's the business community now? And is something you also said earlier is you talked about this community alignment, right? And if there's no alignment in the business community, then how can you say we need to hold the business community accountable to this metric? Who are we going to hold accountable? The GCP, the Downtown Cleveland Partnership?
I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't. I mean, I think that the model that worked for many years, which we were able to get into alignment, and alignment is a critical construct. And I tell people, it's sort of looking back over what worked in Cleveland when it started to not work and what's beginning to work in Youngstown. The construct of alignment is a very, very important one. It's like you can drive your car if it's out of alignment, but it shakes and rattles and you go slow and you get there, but it's a pain in the neck. You get everything aligned, you can begin to move. And what I'm seeing in Youngstown is that as the feds and the state and the locals and the university align, when the city adopts the university's master plan as part of its plan, when the university's master plan plugs into the city's plan, we can do some remarkable things. That's a very simple alignment. Then we can work with the business community that owns some of the empty buildings and say, well, we need, in Youngstown, we probably need, if you talk about the 2% solution, 5,000 residents in downtown Youngstown. Now in 1960, we had 10,000 residents in the same area. It's not unreasonable. It's not an unreasonable goal. I mean, we actually had people living downtown in a way that Cleveland never did in Youngstown, Ohio. But then that gets and said, well, here's the business college, and it's going to go here, and it's going to tie into downtown, and here's a couple of office buildings that a developer has bought. Isn't that good for student housing? How do we make those projects work? Not how do we make downtown housing work, how do we make these projects work? And what do we do with Phelps Street, which is like East 4th Street? When the students say, we want something to do, well, where do we put the bowling alley? Can we put something here, right down from there, to make something happen? And we can tie that to Kostler's incubator, which is over 2 blocks that way, so that the smart kids earning $58,000 a year average salary can go to someplace on Phelps and Hazel down the street from the business college, and you begin to get something to happen. That's alignment. That's project by project alignment of getting the actors to work together. That's a network model. It is not a hierarchical model. There is no one room where you go and sit and talk to the partnership or whatever. And you have a business community, in Youngstown, Ohio, in the regional chamber that is also focused on doing the business of a business community.
What role and what kind of leverage do individual citizens who are not aligned with civic leadership have?
I think the role is, if you're going to stay here, if you're going to be here, just do it. I mean, I don't think that I think waiting to get permission is to enable a dysfunctional process.
What efforts are you supporting right now that are going on that are probably misaligned, but if it came together, maybe they'd be aligned one day?
I'm in Youngstown.
What do you support regionally, perhaps?
Well, I think one of the alignments, and one is to get a much alignment between our state universities. We have more coverage between state universities and the community. Been encouraged by their constituencies, by Columbus, by sort of the natural jealousies to fight with one another. One of the most powerful things we could do, it seems to me, is to figure out a way to act like North Carolina.